a good voice, you can just kind of mouth the words and
Hey,
it takes care of itself.
that's
And
it.
by the way, my son's been turning me on to these people that do this beat mixing. I mean, it's insane what they can do. I have to send. I'll send you. You know, we'll put a link or two in the comments of our show, but I'll send it to you personally. But there's some crazy cool talent that they go. You can do this with your mouth, and they're playing drums, they're playing clarinet. I mean, they're
Right. I've seen that. I've seen that. And I'm like, wow.
So the other part I wanted to just interject is I've been doing the Keep Smiling movement since 2015. My mentor, not Dr. Barry Shore, started around 1998, and by the time he handed me a card, I said, and he didn't have it as a movement, so we co-founded this as a movement, the Keep Smiling movement, and I share that with you to say that there have been people that either took this idea and want to run on their own or whatever. And people would say, are you going to get a lawyer or something? I go, no, if I'm committed to smiles, that's actually helping. Someone that wants to lose weight and they have a lot of weight to lose, it's just not fun to talk about that big number. But if you talk about the smaller number increments wins, it comes out to be pretty cool.
That's right. And I love what you said. I love this the stages. First, we got to help people to realize they have permission to smile,
Right.
you know? And then from there is helping people understand, because if you're walking and someone is coming towards you, if you're smiling, they start to smile. My wife shared, she was just in India 2 weeks ago. And she said, the people in India, she walked around and nobody smiled.
Are you serious?
And yes. And she just said every day to live in my purpose. And um, clients, the people that I get
So that's
to work
four.
with,
That's four. So let me go back because that was the reason I said three. I want you. Do you change it up so you have new ones every day? Also,
I do. I
okay. So
do. I do switch it up.
give me three that have shown up either today or recently that are new that you're like, wow, I hadn't been grateful for that for a while.
Here, some of the simple things.
All right, this is not really the Dr. Smiley show. I'm so used to saying that right now because I'm on this pathway of how many shows can you do with great people, And so, Dr. David Banks, I just want to say, sometimes I look at you and I say, are there two of me?
That's why I have to wear glasses, so you won't have to realize.
So I can't help but say this, but I feel like this is the Ebony and Ivory show right now because
Hey,
we
look
got
at
the we got
this.
the notes of what we were supposed to dress like, right?
I
Um,
love it.
can we would it be okay if we don't sing Ebony and Ivory today? I just don't feel like I polished that song off enough to.
Hey, that's fun. I think people get it. I think people get it where we're going with it.
Well, I'm going to take a small lead, but obviously we're partners in the show, and we haven't even come up with a name with it. We have some working titles we'd like to hear from the audience, but Dr. Banks, Dr. Smiley, is that the show name? Is it Banker and a Smile? Is it so Banks and Smiley? So if you guys have some ideas, we'd like to do a show a month. And the show is really talking about not just smiles, but what are you doing to bring joy to the world? What are you doing to bring joy to yourself? So
That's
I'm going to
right.
turn it over to you because you're the one that Dr. Michelle Mraz recommended
Hey.
connected to me. And I got to tell you, you're one of my favorite people I've never met.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Well, maybe 2 years ago, Ken, because time is gone,
It
I
has.
decided, I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something on a global scale. And I thought, smiling. And so I came up with this tagline, smile and the reason will appear.
Mm.
Because so many times we think joy, happy, well, with happy, something has to happen so you can be happy. Well, that's kind of thing with smiling. If you're smiling, the first thing they're going to say is, what are you smiling about? Because they think and I thought, well, why don't we just teach people just to smile and the reason will appear. So
It,
I created this global campaign.
yeah.
Uh,
It's kind of like you're playing off of Jung, like philosophy, but you're also playing off of the when the student is ready, the teacher will appear kind of thing.
exactly, exactly. So I got my contacts around the world, in Pakistan, in India, Australia, the Philippines, and we just had this huge. And Dr. Michelle, she saw it,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Hey, you need to get to know Ken. He's my friend." And so she connected us, and we've definitely been talking back and forth, off and on. And so, yeah, I definitely would love to work with you and just really make this thing a global movement.
I want to say a couple things real quick. One is when you said you united the world and you wanted this to be a world campaign. I kind of feel like you were almost about to say, and we got to reinvigorate that song, "We Are the World, but We Are the Smile."
That's right. I don't know how to sing, so
Well, sometimes just when you have a good voice, you can just kind of mouth the words and it
hey,
takes care of itself.
that's
And
it.
by the way, my son's been turning me on to these people that do this beat mixing. I mean, it's insane what they can do. I have to send. I'll send you. We'll put a link or two in the comments of our show, but I'll send it to you personally. But there's some crazy cool talent that they go. You can do this with your mouth, and they're playing drums, they're playing clarinet. I mean, they're
Right. I've seen that. I've seen that, and I'm like, wow.
So the other part I wanted to just interject is I've been doing the Q Smiley movement since 2015. My mentor, not Dr. Barry Shore, started around 1998, and by the time he handed me a card, I said, and he didn't have it as a movement, so we co-founded this as a movement, the Q Smiley movement, and I share that with you to say that there have been people that either took this idea and wanted to run on their own or whatever. And people would say, "Are you going to get a lawyer or something?" I go, "No, if I'm committed to smiles, that's actually helping." I mean, whether it comes back to me directly or not, it makes the world better. And that's actually why I'm doing this. So when I heard about your smile campaign, I looked at it as, man, this synergistically makes sense. You got two people with phenomenal haircuts that
Hey,
love
look at there.
smiles. So I'm flying out to Chattanooga. I'm not going to declare this because I haven't done enough research, but I would like to see you in March if possible, because the sooner we can get you in the new Bald Bold book, and
Hey,
that's backed by the Smile Movement, and once you're in the book, the ads in the back are $5,000. You're going to get a free ad in the back for your specific movement. And I look at it this way: if I can be the engine to your movement, it just shows that unconditional love is always exists with smiles, always.
I love it. I love it.
Because if you think about a smile, there should be no attachment to why it's happened.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I
So
love that.
once you share where people can find out more about your information of your smile, and if you don't mind, can we declare that we're having a book come out? Is that okay?
Yes,
Okay.
let's just put it
So
on out there.
we have some titles, and we're kind of working on them, just like we're working on the show title. But International Smile Day is, I believe, May 27th. If it's not, we're going to correct that day, but that's the day our book is coming out. And it's about harnessing and finding and providing the reason, or even better yet, that you are in a moment of gratitude and you're willing to shift the world because you actually believe that powerfully about a smile and also positivity. I mean, it's not just about the smile. I mean, we know that there's fake smiles.
That's right. That's right.
But the thing about a fake smile is, unfortunately, they don't get the benefit.
That's
It
right.
it's so funny. I'll have someone that is so happy, and I go, I got to get your picture with a smile card, and then they go into this mode, Dr. Max go, and I go, no, no, I want the happy. So
Oh
tell
my
us more
goodness.
about your journey a little bit.
Well, I'll give you the quick story. A huge part of my life happened when I was in the sixth grade. When I was in the sixth grade, I wanted to do something to get validation from my dad. He big, tall, 6'6" guy, over 200 something pounds,
Mm,
very serious man.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't learn to smile from him because he thought, what is it to smile about? So
Mm,
he was very serious. So I wanted to do something to get validation. Well, I have an older brother and an older sister. Neither one of them plays sports. All of us are tall. My dad is 6'6", my mom is 6'1", I'm 6'5", my brother. So we're all six. So I said, maybe basketball. So, Ken, I tried out for the basketball team in the sixth grade and I made the team. I was so excited and thought, man, this, this could possibly get my dad to smile.
How
So
tall were
after
you? How tall were you at that age?
I, probably five something,
You were
you
taller
know,
than most kids at that point.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Very skinny, very skinny. So I came home from practice after making the team. And as I was coming home, I was thinking in my mind, man, I'm going to tell my dad. He's going to smile. We're going to really connect. Oh, I had it all set up. Got home. My dad worked a labor job, so he's always taking a nap when he gets home. So I came in the house, went over, woke him up, and I said, Dad, I made the basketball team. And I'm smiling, Ken. He looked at me and he said, you will never succeed at anything.
Hmm.
He went back to sleep.
I
And it
love
happened
it.
so fast. It happened so fast. I'm thinking, did I just hear what I just heard? Thinking that, let's try it again. But something said, David, um, you heard what you heard. And
So
Ken, that statement,
mhm. That's a killer.
ah,
That's a
yeah,
killer.
that statement took any smile I had left. It took it away for a while.
Can I take a little moment here with you on this?
Sure.
This because what you're saying, it hits me actually very emotionally, and it's not because I relate as much as I empathize. So you have someone that's down and out, they have the worst life ever, and you have just one person believe in them, they shoot up. If you have
That's right.
everything going right and they have one person that is the most important person in life say you'll be nothing, it just didn't even matter.
Exactly. So right.
Right.
So right. So my middle school year, high school year was not good,
Hmm.
not good memories. But in college, I read this book by my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, and he talked about the book was In Pursuit of Purpose.
Yeah. Yes.
And Ken, I started now that book didn't help me discover my purpose, but it gave me a huge revelation that I had my purpose in my mother's womb before I was ever born. So I left that book thinking, David, you have a choice. Either you can focus on your past and focus on what your dad said, or you can focus on your purpose. Again, I decided, well, if I got a choice, let's focus on the purpose. So I've spent that time really, really putting focus in my purpose. And I remember I created a model to help people discover their purpose. I went through it first. And Ken, oh my goodness, when I went through it and I came up, my purpose is to impact and empower people to succeed in their personal and professional life in order for them to be productive and fulfilled. Ken, when I wrote that statement down on a scratch sheet of paper and I read it, Ken, I'm thinking back now since we're talking about it. After I read it two or three times, something happened to my face. Started smiling. Started smiling. I'm
It's
like,
beautiful.
this is nice. So that is why I feel like everybody needs to learn to smile, you know, because I got my smile back.
Yeah. And people think that a person like yourself or myself that is all about smiling, that we just have a great life. It's that one, we have to shift it a lot, and two, we have to choose it a lot.
Exactly. So right, my friend. Oh, yeah, that's it. It's all about making a choice,
Right.
because definitely several things have happened throughout my life, but I've just chosen to, yeah,
And just to
I just choose
reiterate
to
this,
smile.
to everyone has a friend like this, or everyone knows someone like this, is a friend that's in the dumps, and they're always in the dumps, and they're never happy. And you say, "Hey, why aren't you ever happy?" And they go, "I can't be." And then you say, "What do you mean you can't be?" And they said,
That's right.
there's not one reason for me to be happy." And I said, "Really? There's nothing?" And I said, "You do know that I'm happy?" And they go, "Yeah, you have a lot of reasons." I go, "No, no, I chose it." And
That's right.
the reasons follow it.
Exactly. I love
So
it, kid.
Mark Twain, I believe, is credited with this particular quote, and it is the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you found out why. Right.
Love it.
So,
Yes.
Dr. Smiley is actually putting in the third edition of my new book. And anyone who wants my book or Dr. Banks, you just put in you got to DM us, but you're going to tell us how to reach you. We will give you digital copies, no problem. As many as there are people in the world. Now, if it gets over 1 billion, we might have to get some help here. But here's my modification of that quote, where I'm going to give Mark Twain credit, and maybe I'll say Mark Twain, Dr. Smiley, but I say there's 3 days, three most important days in your life. The day that you were born, just like Mark Twain said, the day that you found out why, which Mark Twain said, and the day you put that why into action to make the world better.
I love it. I love it,
Because
Ken.
there's
That's
a lot of people
nice.
that find out their why, but they don't, they're still in fear.
That's right. That's right.
They've been illuminated, but they don't know what to do. And what they do is actually to move, not to do anything, but move, just move, because you're going to
That's
make a
right.
mistake. And, I don't have 60 beautiful books. I have 60 books that are getting more beautiful.
I
uh,
love it. I love
yeah.
it.
So we're gonna do as many shows as makes sense, but I'm declaring to you that I am happy and willing to do 10 to 12 because I think it's such an important topic.
I think so. I think so. And I definitely think the world needs to know this, Ken.
Yeah, and we can
I,
also have a game that we create out of this. I mean, this is all free flow what we're doing right now, but the 30-day mini challenge of how many smiles did you create? And so because anyone that wants to lose weight and they have a lot of weight to lose, it's just not fun to talk about that big number. But if you talk about the smaller number increments wins, it comes out to be pretty cool.
that's right. And I love what you said. I love this the stages. First, we got to help people to realize they have permission to smile,
Right.
you know? And then from there is helping people understand, because if you're walking and someone is coming towards you, if you're smiling, they start to smile. My wife shared she was just in India 2 weeks ago. And she said, the people in India, she walked around and nobody smiled.
Are you serious?
And yes. And she just said they were just kind of existing and
Hmm.
just survival life.
Because
But she
they're very
was,
hospitable people.
yes, yes. But she just said the people she saw in the markets and walking around, just
Yeah.
nobody smiled. It was just like, I'm surviving. I gotta do what I gotta do. And hey, but she saw another lady coming towards her, wasn't smiling. And my wife, it's a beautiful smile. And this lady saw her smiling and she started smiling. And Ken, that's what we got to do.
Well, just because I want, because India is one of my favorite places in the world, and the Indian people are one of my favorite cultures, and they've been so embracing of my smile movement. I just want to say this: there's no country that doesn't have sadness, and there's no country that doesn't have happiness. And she could have gone into a very impoverished area, which there are plenty. There are plenty of impoverished areas, and I've seen them, and it saddens me. But I will tell you, when I had the same experience your wife did, if you emit a smile, you get one back. But there's a gentleman, he is not around anymore, but he's one of my favorite people again that I've never met. Charlie Tremendous Jones. He passed before I ever met him, but he had a quote that's my favorite quote. I start my presentations with: "The difference between where you are today and where you'll be in 5 years is the books you read and the people you meet." That's his quote. But his daughter, who I met through LinkedIn, shared with me that when she heard that I was Dr. Smiley and I was all about it, she goes, "You have no idea. My dad was so funny about walking down the street and when he'd see somebody, he'd say, 'Thank you for your smile.' And he'd smile. Now, here's what's funny: the people that are smiling said, 'You're welcome.' The people that weren't smiling started smiling."
Hey, I love it.
You
I
can't
love
help
it.
you can't help but smile. But there's something I want you to go in. I want us to do kind of a ping pong of, you come up with something, I come up with something. We're both learning, and here's what's funny: we do a show a week or even more shows. We might have the transcription of these shows actually kind of guide the book along, because I think this is good content. Um, so this thing you said about smile and the reason will come, I'd like to take a little more of a synapses, psychological, how God kind of programmed our brain. So
Excellent.
when we think happiness, it comes down here and the smiles emitted. And what you're saying, and what I agree to, and what my dissertation was about, is if you're not happy, you can actually trick yourself by smiling.
Exactly.
And you smile, and it goes up to your brain, and your brain says, "What am I doing down there?" And what I'm doing down there is I'm smiling because I'm happy. What am I happy about? I don't know, but let me find.
I love it. I love it. That's exactly when I was thinking of this. I'm saying yes, because like you said, you normally experience a happy moment
Right.
or you think a happy thought, and it's like, wow, I'm smiling. But if you don't have anything like that or trying to wait for something, it may take a while. But if you just start smiling, Your brain is, like you said, it's going to interpret, why in the world are you smiling? Okay, well, we got to figure out something to connect with that. And gratitude. And
Right.
I'm huge on gratitude. Every morning, I come up with 18 things that I'm grateful for. Now,
Wow.
I've been doing this for 1,121 days. Gratitude is huge. Every morning for 1,121 days, I've been coming with something grateful.
So
And
give us an example of three.
three, one is my bride, just being a huge thing, a bride in my life. Another one, living my purpose. You
Hmm.
know, I get the opportunity every day to live in my purpose. And um, clients, the people that I get
So that's
to work
four.
with.
That's four. So let me go back because that was the reason I said three. I want you. Do you change it up so you have new ones every day? Also,
I do. I
okay. So
do. I do
give me
switch it up.
three that give me three that have shown up either today or recently that are new that you're like, wow, I hadn't been grateful for that for a while.
Here, some of the simple things. I have an office in my home.
Yeah, it's a
I have
noble
an office.
office, by the way. I just want to say it's one of the more noble offices I've seen.
So I have an office in my home. Um, Also, my health.
Hmm.
I think about that. I'm a runner. I love to run. When I grew up, I had issues with my legs that
Are
they
you a
didn't
track? Are
really
you a
think.
fast track runner? Were you a cross country or track runner?
No, no, no. I started running late in life. You know,
Oh,
I start running later in life and just like I need to do something to stay healthy, but
hmm.
definitely basketball still got a little tinge. I played, pickup game or the Y, but I said I need to do something by myself. I
Well,
need to do something by myself. And I thought, trying to wait to play basketball, get a group together or tennis. I said, but one thing I can do by myself is I can run.
well,
So
when
I
I'm in
started.
Chattanooga, I'm not going to run with you, but I'll walk with you because I got 60 pounds since my track running days. I got to get them down. I can't believe I'm 60 pounds heavier. I mean, minimum, probably 70 pounds heavier. I was a 435 miler. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I could run. I was going to say something about what was the last thing you brought up about what were you talking about? This,
The things that I'm grateful
oh yeah,
for.
so I have a hack for people that don't have anything to be grateful for. Okay, I got a hack because we got to come up with hacks so people can get on the good shit, on the smile shit. You can start off your day saying, "I am grateful. I have nothing to be grateful for." But I wanted to also say something about the books. The Keep Smiling books, we'd have Keep Smiling at the top of the book, but the next word would be shift happens, meaning when you smile, you cannot be unhappy. It's impossible.
That's right.
And
That's
so,
right.
so it is about shifting, and you can, and here's the way of looking at it: you're in the worst mood ever, worst mood. I mean, no one wants to even be around you. You don't want to be around anybody, and you get a phone call, and they said, "You're not going to believe this, but you just won, $100,000, $10,000. Watch the shift that happens." You can't say, "Well, I'm having the worst day." And by the way, don't you love when someone says, I'm having the best. It couldn't get better." That's what it is. It couldn't get better. And I said, "You're telling me that if someone just called you with a lotto and said, you just won 1 million, that wouldn't make it better?" I just,
Yeah.
I love expressions that just it doesn't make sense. Yeah, and another one is, I'm not the best singer. I'm not the best writer. I'll say, "Well, don't worry. There's only one." And they always come back with, "Well, who is that?" And I go, "I don't know, but there's only one. Don't fret. There's 8 billion of us in there."
I love it. I love it.
All right. So Chattanooga is coming up. Our book is coming up. We're going to do a show. Do you have a preference on a title? Because if we throw it out to the audience a little bit, maybe they'll come up with what they think it could be.
I like the shift though. I like the concept that we're developing. Hey, you just start smiling, and your brain and situations around you would accommodate with how you're smiling. So I like the shift. But hey, I got to ask you a question, Ken. All right, I
Sure.
want to swing it back at you. How did Ken even start this smiling movement? Yeah, kind of tell the audience if they don't know, how did Ken get into this smiling movement?
Well, unlike you, that was able to beautifully surmise it, synopsis it down to 3 minutes. Mine is the lowest I can get is 3 hours. So I'm gonna go. So I was a DJ for a long time, and I'm talking like 4 decades. And this answer is going to possibly go a little over 3 minutes, but there's a point to this. I was in a business and a lifestyle that I could not believe could be better. Honestly, if you ask me, I would say it couldn't get better. I was playing music and people were having fun.
Oh,
I was able to tell people I get paid for people to have fun with the music that is the universal language. Like it touches everybody. So I'm doing something very significant in my life. Well, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I became a caregiver with my dad, and it kind of woke my butt up that hey, music might be great, but your purpose is not being lived, and you are far from where you could matter or how big you could play. And so music all of a sudden didn't matter to me anymore. I mean, it was really crazy. It when I got this answer about a purpose driven life, and yes, I read the book too. But my point is, I started living like, is this all you wanted from me, God? And so the discovery was, hey, I got to go on a journey and I got to find inspiration because I got to be inspiration. I got to find it to be it. So I bought some very expensive cameras. I started photographing. I started getting invited to really big events. Well, one of the events I got invited to was CEO Space. I met a gentleman named Barry Shore. He handed me a card very much like this. And all of a sudden, my world made sense. It was 7 years later. So it was very weird. Most people don't have that patience, but I actually really did have the patience. I really did believe I was on a journey and the answer would be provided. So 13th forum, 13, unlucky number. Wasn't going to go. I was done with CO Space, not because I didn't like them, not because it's just I'd done it. I did 12 forums. You know, if you go to an event 12 times, there's a point where you go, okay, what's the next chapter? And I
that's
went
right.
the 13th time. Barry went for the first time. He handed me the card, and boom, my life made sense from three standpoints. I said, oh, this is what the 7 year journey is about. I was supposed to get this. Like, that's how clear it was to me. Number two, my mom was the most positive, like insanely positive woman ever. She believed no matter how big my failures were, don't worry, get back up, you can do it. So she was all about smiles and positivity. This answered my tribute to being for her. And third and most importantly, it lit me up because when I researched a little more, I said, music's the universal language. A smile is a universal expression. No one gets confused when you smile. If you do it genuinely, you are accepted and
That's
integrated,
right.
regardless of how much you can speak the language.
I love it. That
So
is so
that's
true.
that's I did it less than 3 hours. I'm pretty proud of myself, but that's
Hey, you're
that's
doing well.
how.
I like that. That's nice. So no, back to the cover. Yeah, marketing is not my strongest suit. To make it sexy and jazzy,
Yeah, but I
but I
wouldn't
know
want
the concept. I
I
know the
wouldn't want
concept.
yeah, but we'd be in danger if we mimic each other. We have to actually be complementary to each other. So when I hear that you're not and I am, I'm like, good, like I have some value to bring to the partnership. By the way, if you have two partners and they're exactly the same, there is actually potentially no value. Potentially.
Look at there.
And I would like to share my definition of the perfect partnership. And the reason I'd like to share it with you is because if someone knows it and it works, they actually have the formula for creating a partnership that lasts but grows. Okay. So the perfect partnership, and Michelle actually quoted me in one of her books for this, is when two or more people agree verbally or in writing to compete to unconditionally give more than the other.
Look at there. My goodness.
It's a very neat dance there because it doesn't matter how many people, it doesn't matter whether it's verbal or written. It just matters that it's true. It only matters that it's true. And I think the best thing I said when I was a DJ, they would say, now you're definitely going to be there. Can you sign this agreement? I said, well, first of all, I'm signing the agreement because I will be there. But just so you know, if I didn't care about my signature, it wouldn't matter if I wrote it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because your word's your bond. So
That's right. That's
so
right.
I'm just so excited that you played so big that you caught Michelle's eye and Michelle put us together.
Hey, I love it. I
And,
keep thinking every time I talk to Michelle, I always say thank you for connecting me to Ken. And yeah, we're discussing some things. So yeah, we're gonna make it happen this year.
and for the audience to know the power of meeting someone like yourself or a Michelle is if you're a variable and as a human you're a variable that's measured from 1 to 10. Zero would be you're not existing, but 1 to 10. And let's say you're playing as big as you possibly can, it's a seven, or it's as big as you possibly can, it's an eight. You just got to learn more. Well, I put in 30,000 hours in this smile. I'll call it movement, business, game, purpose, whatever you want to call it. And I would say I'm probably charted or rated at a 9 or 10. I think I'm pretty high up there. And you take another person like yourself who has traveled countries and has made all these connections to very, very powerful people. And let's say you're scoring around a 9 or 10, right? And just for simple math, your level of impact is 10 because you are one. And you have another person that's a level 10. You actually get to multiply. They're not added, they're multiplied. So
That's
you
right.
you minimally 10x yourself. Now, if someone like Barry Shore, the guy who handed me the card, he retired from and exited out of two companies with very, very big exits. He's my mentor and he's the one who gave me the card. You got another variable. My point is these variables get very interesting, even at 3. I mean, you got 1,000x on yourself instead of the 1 or 10. So, and what's funny is the math is actually important regardless of what number it is. If you're a 5 and I'm a 5, that's still 25. That's way bigger than we were separated.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So
So true. I
so
love it.
I'm just glad I'm with a person who looks like me exactly and dresses almost exactly like me.
Same here. Same here. I
So
love
we
it.
so we're gonna have to figure out. I mean, we've kind of set the bar kind of higher on this dressing thing. I mean, this is huge that we didn't even plan this. We came in and I go, "Are you kidding me? I didn't get the note or invite." And he's like, "Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you this. Black shirts matter, so that's why I wore it today."
Hey, I love it. I love it.
So we're gonna have a show maybe next week. We'll say that we are in a vibe right now where we would love the audience to participate in what they'd like to have included in the book, what they'd like to see. We're definitely going to do a book tour. Let us know what town you're in. Let us know if you know a
Hey,
Smiler that should be acknowledged and identified in the book, because this is not about anything but how big we can make it. And how big we can
exactly.
make it is everyone wins. Everyone
That's
wins.
right.
So anyone that knows that, how do people reach out to you? How do people learn more about you?
I have a Facebook group. Let me get it here. Facebook group. It is facebook.com/David Banks PhD. Facebook.com/David Banks PhD.
All right.
And they
So I
can,
want to start a new group. I want to start a
uh,
small group, and I want us to both be admins. And by the way, we'll add other admins that are planned as big as us. Add other,
excellent. I like that.
I like
I
I
like
like the
that.
I like the fact you have a group. I have a publishing group. I have other group, but believe it or not, I don't think I have. I have a Keep Smiling movement group, but I would move them to this initiative. So
I love it.
that's
Yeah, the
that's
group.
cool.
Yeah, that's nice. We need to do that.
All
I
right,
think
and we'll find out from those of you that don't want to verify, but I think it's May 27th is International Smile Day, and that is the day you can get a free copy if you are contributing in some way, shape, or form to making the world better with a smile.
hey, I love it. I love it.
Because
Ken, we are
we
we're
can take
smile ambassadors. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
yes.
create smile ambassadors around the world because definitely I think what's going on in the world or everywhere, people need to learn to smile, you
Well,
know?
in the dissertation, we're not going to let the cat out of the bag here, but I can't. There's 21. I can't take credit for it, but there's 21 attributes you get that are all bonuses in your life if you do smiles. And then
Look at that.
I wrote about that kind of distinguished me as someone who took it to a mathematical or a chemistry or physics level is what is your SPH? What are your smiles per hour? How many you give yourself? How many you give in the world? So we got some good stuff that's going to be in this book.
Love it. I love it.
And you know what's cool about it is that happiness there is priceless. Is the one thing, man. If you're happy, you're living God's journey. I mean, God does not want you to be unhappy.
Exactly. Exactly. That's so true.
And
So true.
I'm glad we got the gratitude in there. And it's so cool. The G has a smile in it.
Yeah, I like that.
And it has a bald head. It has a bald head too.
Oh my God. Oh, kid, this thing is coming together.
And you know what's funny is I didn't think about that till today, but giggles, you got 3 bald smiling G's. All right. Well, great seeing you, Dr. Banks. I think we can bank on a really good partnership and smiles and making a difference in the world while we're here.
I totally agree. Ken, it's a pleasure, my friend. It's a
God bless
pleasure.
you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.